To know to start your day. Power Breakfast on Power 98.7.
The time now is 6:51. You're on Power Breakfast this morning with Tessa Dooms. In a few minutes' time, we will be talking to, hopefully, to Brigadier Atlenda Mate about a story coming out of Lesotho. The idea here is that we want to get and verify if it is true that the Lesotho government claiming there that young people from Lesotho are being brought to South Africa for military camp training, illegal military camp training in their view, and wanting to understand what is at the bottom of that one. But, speaking to Atlenda Mate always is this opportunity to zone in on what's happening in South Africa in terms of our crime and our policing systems. Our policing systems are just not where they should be. And when we go into the period now where we're going to be looking at various police, the inquiry into the police, I wonder to what extent it's going to go beyond just looking at these relationships between police officers and syndicates. And it's going to actually be able to dig down into why is our policing not at the standards that it should be? How do we start to improve policing in South Africa so that we are not feeling that we are at the mercy, as it were, of various kinds of criminals in the country. But yeah, we'll be talking to Atlenda Mate after the 7 o'clock news about that one. But of course, the big story of the weekend, Kunene resigns from his post. Is that a sign of good politicians doing the right thing to step aside, or is it about avoiding accountability? Sean Kreusch from the DA joins us this morning, Shadow MMC of Transport in the city of Joburg. Sean, the DA has taken a particular stance on this one around holding Kunene to account for whatever deeds or misdeeds, in your view, he's done while he was in that office of the MMC for Transport. What are the particular issues that you are asking Dada Morero and his government to investigate?
Well, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Certainly the DA takes a very strong position on corruption or potential corruption. We feel like Mr. Kunene, because he's now no longer the MMC, is certainly living under a very big cloud, and we're concerned. We've raised before the incredible scale of the repair on the Lilingwe / Bree Street repair, which is sitting with the path from step up to about 215 million rand, and the length of road is 1.8 kilometers, which roughly works out to about 120,000 rand per running meter. We did some calculations around that, and you can build a pretty decent school or shopping mall for 200 million rand. So we will be certainly digging into that, and many of the other contracts which we feel may sort of reveal some stuff that isn't quite towards. Another good one was the JR's request to purchase 7 jetvac machines for clearing of, curb inlets, etc., for 27 million rand, and we ended up hiring them for 4 months for 24 million rand. So we will be getting down to the bottom of that one as well. Certainly there's issues around the fact that 300 million rand was returned to Treasury on the Rio Via because of poor performance by that department, which resided, should I say, in history under his domain. And the fact that in most of the council sittings, the MMC at the time was not actually present. And in the 79 committees, where we provide oversight to and account to the officials, we didn't even have a meeting on the 10th of June and haven't had since May. And in those situations, I requested from the chair a list of attendance. The man has not attended one of the 12 over the 3-year period, although has come late on probably 3 or 4 occasions. And so we have a man who I think pretty much ran things the way he seemed fit, and has not taken into account some of the glaring issues. There's a company called MTC, which was shifted into the Transport Committee, and it is the metro trading company, and it's the IT backbone of the city. And we're also finding that through his resignation, whistleblowers are starting to come forward. And so we are going to pursue those, allegations and find out what is there and what is hidden and what is not being seen in terms of public eye, particularly the fact that many of our requests for information has literally gone unnoticed. I mean, the detailing of the condition of our bridges in the city, 902 bridges, with only 6% of any good standing, 20 at the brink of closure. I mean, these are words that came out of the mayor's mouth. And one of the biggest ones was the mayor standing up and saying that we had 700 million rand to fix potholes. Now, had the MMC at the time, Kunene, focused on his job, we would have seen a lot more done in terms of road resurfacing at the time. And quite frankly, we're in trouble. And I think that we're looking forward to seeing who will replace the MMC. And hopefully that the replacement will be a lot more forthcoming in terms of information, be more accountable, be more present in the council sittings, and avail himself. Certainly, we all woke up this morning with trials and tribulations, and I'm quite happy to wake up with my own. And Mr. Kunene has to face his as he faces this week as well.
I mean, Sean, people may ask, these are not things that are related to the reasons why Kenny Kunene has resigned. And so is this just a moment to spotlight what has already been ongoing engagements, or are you surfacing these issues now for the first time? I think because we haven't heard these issues detailed in the way that you've detailed it, or that your caucus leaders detailed it to Dana Moreno in the letter that says he's got 7 days to respond. Why was the 7 days to respond not something that was put before the mayor and his executive months ago, if you've known of these issues?
To be frank, the MMC has not been forthcoming with information, and now that he's cleared the path for officials to speak freely, certainly we will find a lot more coming to the fore. The officials weren't allowed to speak honestly and freely within the times that they were in committee, and so we're seeing this as an opportunity for where there's smoke, there's potential fire. And certainly allegations have started to surface. And we now have the ability through the spotlight that he's under to be able to start questioning some of these decisions that have been made. And yes, some of the stuff has been hush-hush. And we're concerned, a city that a capex budget of 1.5 billion rand in 2016 now is operating at 900 million rand per annum. And that's for the last 7 or 8 years. I think we're in trouble. We've been in trouble for a very long time. And the DA has been pushing really hard for those answers. And now that he's proverbially driven on his sword or jumped on his sword, we certainly would like to see some of this stuff come to light. And if there is stuff to be answered for, then certainly the DA will take its due course and follow its path to deal with that.
What you're raising, Sean, is actually quite concerning. I mean, we could deep dive into some of the issues that you've brought out here. One is, of course, that Bree Street Road. Everybody's been waiting for some movement on that. To hear a number like 250 million is actually quite alarming. So these things on their own could be quite alarming. But I think what concerns me about what you're saying is that while people are in office, they are being shielded by officials who are either too scared to talk or perhaps complicit in what is going on there at the time. How do we then hold people accountable when they're in office if the only time that we can get information to what it is that they're doing is when they are out of office? Does this not signal that there needs to be some sort of reforms? I mean, we're talking about the white paper for municipalities on the table. Should there not be an opportunity here for reforms so that accountability is more possible while people are in office?
You raise a good point. Now, the city of Johannesburg has roughly 13 plus entities like Joburg Water, City Power, JRA.
Another problem that needs to be solved for.
And certainly that is one of the biggest problems with accountability, because they have boards, they have executives that are particularly politically appointed boards, with the major shareholder being the city, which is represented, by the way, by the MMC. So it's really issue of supply chain management, and the fact that many of the purchasing decisions and supply chain management decisions are pretty much happening outside the ambit of any form of council accountability, other than them reporting through reports. And certainly if those boards are captured, we are finding it very difficult to be able to access that. We're having similar challenges at City Power, as you're well aware. And certainly Joburg Water is also drowning, no pun intended, in terms of the quality of the contractual work and budget. So yes,
but definitely,
institutional change within the city has to come about, and we need to bring about that change and bring those into the system and start being directly in control of the quality of the workmanship, the quality of supply chain management, which we are going to tackle very strongly now, because we've seen that across MTC, JRA, Metrobus as well, Ria Vaya.
Absolutely. I think that the accountability challenges here are stark, because if we have to wait for moments like this that are opportune in order to get accountability, that isn't good governance. But thank you so much, Sean Kreusch from the DA MMC there, Shadow MMC for Transport in the City of Joburg. When we get back from the news, we'll be speaking to John Robbie, who's not at home this morning. He'll be joining us on the line shortly.